We are on day 4 of B2B, Back to Basics in Home Design. And that is D day, D day. Before we move our needle any further, I want you to stop right here. And I don't want you to buy a thing. That is my first D. Don't buy anything because we are still in the middle of planning. And when you purchase during the middle of planning, it is an awful lot like shoveling during the middle of a snowstorm, or brushing your teeth while you're still eating, maybe making your bed while you're still sleeping. You get the idea. Don't buy anything because you're not quite ready yet. We are going to back up just a little bit and retrace our steps. When we started with day 1, you were understanding the anatomy of the room. But before you could understand the anatomy and how it works for you, you needed to understand what you wanted the room to do for you. You were creating the purpose for your room. What do you want the purpose of your room to do? What do you want it to feel like? What do you want to do, activities you want to do in that room? That is the purpose. What anchor pieces and peripheral pieces right now do you have in that space that help you to reach that purpose? The things that are not helping you right now, they go on your want list, your need list and your want list, and you are segregating them between need versus want. On day 2, we went to budget and understanding that sometimes budget isn't just saying, this is how much money I have right now today. Budget is a timeline, and it is also the biggest impact. You might be able to make big impact change now with a little bit of money, just a little bit of elbow grease. And then as time goes by and you are able to save, you can start going down that list of needs versus wants and starting to tick off the changes that can be made to create the room that you want for the purpose that you've intended for it. After that, we've talked about creating a cohesive color palette. Now, these don't necessarily go in order. In fact, when you are designing a space, I do want you, before you start thinking about needs versus wants, I do want you to think about your color palette. What is your overall feeling for the room? And that's going to be translatable into a color palette. Now, one thing I did not mention yesterday that I want to make sure you know today is that a cohesive color palette happens with repetition. Repetition in home design is very good. You know that foundational color is going to be your biggest percentage point, about 60%. And then everything after that is going to be an accent color, and you are going to see that accent color repeated throughout your home in different ways, in different elements throughout your home. Artwork, lamps, textiles, books, things like that. Now, here's one word I did not mention yesterday, and I do want to mention before we move on, and that is a bully. Sometimes if you have a color palette and an item in your home just feels a little bit off, I want you to think about if that thing that feels a little bit off is fitting into your color palette, if it's fitting into your aesthetic. And if it is not, chances are it is a bully. Bullies are generally things that command and demand attention without it intentionally meaning to. They demand your visual field because maybe they are the wrong color. Maybe they are sticking out like a sore thumb, and that is a bully within your room. And we want to remediate those bullies by changing the color. Maybe it belongs in a different room. Today, however, is D, and D is for don't buy anything. We are reviewing all of those steps in order to make sure that you know and you are solid on the plan that you have in place. But I also want you to know how to start moving your needle forward when it is time to purchase. Maybe on B for budget, timeline, and impact, you have decided I am going to paint my room first, and you've made headway that way. But now it's time to start investing in pieces. Before you do that, I want you to think about creating a board for yourself so that you can visualize what it is that you're wanting to bring into your space before you even spend a penny. Here's how you do it. You can do it one of two ways. You can open up a Word document, or you can go to canva.com and you can create a free account, and you can manipulate that tool that way. Either way, what you can do is when you are on Pinterest or when you're browsing Google and you see all of these beautiful images that you think that you want to bring into your home, you fit them, you've run them through the lens of your aesthetic, and now you know that is the couch I want for my space that will fit all of the purpose that it's meeting the purpose I have for the room. That's the one. I want you to take a screenshot, edit it down, crop it out, and I want you to place it into either one of those programs, Word or Canva. Keep doing that with the other elements that you want to bring into the room, and then take a peek at that finished product, the Word document or the Canva, and I want you to see, do you like what you see? Does it meet the color palette that you've created? Does it have the aesthetics that you've already fine-tuned and you've decided on? And does it look good together? Does it feel good before you start spending a thing? All right, happy designing.